Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jasmine McDonald and I post ballet and fitness related videos every single Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. I just got a new tripod and I'm really excited about it because it's more of like a handheld one I can take around with me, which is really nice. But I just finished making the bed. It's Monday morning and I'm gonna do a bit of a ballet class now. I was gonna go on TikTok live, but I realized I didn't want to. I just wanted to do a ballet class and maybe a bit of a workout. My morning class and client had to cancel, so I just kind of relaxed in the morning, made breakfast, made a healthy breakfast, and I usually don't have time to do that. Usually I'm in a rush and I just like shovel food in my mouth, but it was really nice to be able to cut up some fresh fruit and have not that I don't have a proper breakfast every single day, I obviously always do, I just don't really have the time to like sit down and enjoy it. Now that I do, I'm gonna make a point every single day to wake up a little bit earlier so I do have time to sit down and enjoy breakfast and relax with the pets. Currently about 10:30 and I have a couple of hours till my next class, or my first class I guess technically. So I'm gonna do my own ballet class and then get ready to teach. Also yesterday Steve and I went to the city and we went grocery shopping and we stopped at PetSmart. We saw all these cute little kittens. They were so sweet. I think the kittens were from some sort of shelter. It was really adorable to see them. I just wanted to take them all. I wanted to take all of them. And there were little birds too, little budgies. There was a snake, there was a lizard. There were so many pets I wanted. I wanted a betta fish as well, but we currently have one tank that's free. It's not quite big enough for a betta fish. We had a frog in there before, but that's pretty much the day yesterday. And I think what I want to do with all these stuffies is actually put them in the corner up here in like a net because it's just far too many on the bed. I like the way that it looks with them on the bed, but it's just far too many because at night then I just have to put them all here. And also I know this is a mess. It's been that kind of a weekend. I cleaned up the bathroom last night, but I failed to clean up all this and all that, but that's okay. I'm going to clean it up a little bit and do a ballet class. Okay guys, so I just got in my outfit and the leotard I'm wearing is from Wear Moi. The skirt, I don't exactly know where it's from, but it's from Tutu list and so is the leotard. I just cut a pair of tights to do this little shawl hack, and these leg warmers are always asked about. They are from Pekka Knitwear and I'm fairly certain that the girl who made them doesn't make them anymore, unfortunately, but I am just gonna put on my last Pointe shoe. And yeah, this weekend, Steve and I also watched Oppenheimer. It wasn't my favorite movie. Acting was good, cinematography was good. It was just really fast paced for me personally, and then slow and then fast again. It wasn't my favorite movie, but glad to see it because I love watching all the nominees before the Oscars come out. And I guess the next one on my list is watching. I really love Emma Stone, so I'm really excited to see that, and it looks like something I'll like. I like those kinds of movies, more like, I don't know, avant-garde and weird and quirky, so I think I'll like it more. Oh, okay. And I'm wearing frieds today. So unusual of me wearing frieds. So I am ready to do a bit of a Pointe class, and I know it looks weird wearing tights with tights on top of everything else, but I feel very comfortable now. So I'm gonna put on the skirt. The only thing I find with the skirt is that it's really short, but that's okay. I'm feeling like that kind of vibe today. So I'm gonna put on the skirt. I have my pointe shoes on already, and I'm going to do a pointe bar because I have my free pointe shoes on. They're not as easy to work with as my gainers, so I'm not gonna do a very long pointe bar because yeah, I have a class in about an hour, but I have plenty of time to do a little bit of pointe bar. Okay guys, so we are back to regular scheduled programming. I took a couple days off of vlogging just because A, I was really tired and sore, and B, I just didn't have the time and I overbooked myself, which is fine, but we're here now. I just got out of the shower. It's currently 11:20 and Steve and I are gonna have a lunch at 11:45. I haven't made the bed in like 2 days. It's been that kind of a week where I just feel very overwhelmed with everything. I'm going to Toronto. Not tomorrow, but on Friday, because it's currently Wednesday. So I'm actually only spending the night at home tonight. And then Thursday after work, I'm driving to my mom's because she lives closer to the train that takes me up to Toronto. So I'm going to be going to my mom's after work and then take the GO train up to Toronto. And yeah, I'm spending the day in Toronto on Friday and then I'm coming back home and then I'm going to be working on Saturday and then I'm back in Toronto on Sunday. So I think I'm just gonna do like my own Toronto vlog separately because I did ask you guys on my Instagram to ask me anything. I'm gonna answer that later today after lunch when I dry my hair and I've done my makeup. But first I've got to make this bed because it's been 2 days of an unmade bed and that's not okay. I mean, it is okay. It's one of those days, but it's making me go crazy. So I need to make it. Okay, so I'm just doing my makeup. I just did a little bit of my base. I'm gonna blend it out a bit better, but I asked you guys on my Instagram to ask me anything. So here we go with some questions. How do you stay motivated to move every day? Love your videos. I think my biggest motivation is honestly just listening to my body because I am a huge proponent and a huge advocate for listening to your body and, you know, only do things that you feel good doing. Sometimes, you know, you kind of have to push yourself a little bit. You know, there's some days where mentally I'm just not up for it, but I know deep in my soul and in my bones, I'm gonna feel so much better if I move, at least do like a little bit of a bar, some light stretching. But the reason I stay the most motivated, I think, is because I do take rest days and I do listen to my body and I do make sure that I have adequate nutrition and hydration because there's nothing more motivating than knowing that it's gonna feel good. If you were filthy rich, what would you be? Ooh, what would I be? I feel like I wouldn't be anything different. I feel like I would just do the same thing. However, I would definitely be richer. So I feel like I would be more into like philanthropy or like I would donate a lot, obviously, because I don't know. I don't think anybody needs an incredible amount of money, you know? I don't know what else I would be. I think I'd still be a dance teacher. And I think I'd still be ballet dancer in some capacity. Sorry, I'm just closer to the mirror because my eyebrows are really tricky to do in this light without being super close to the mirror. When did you get on Pointe? I'm 13 and I just started. I didn't get on Pointe until I was 14 years old. Do you do modern, contemporary, or only ballet? I talked about this on my Instagram the other day and I mentioned how my company actually had like modern ballets and contemporary ballets. And even when I was in ballet school, we always had choreographers come in to do like modern and contemporary pieces. I almost said nominated. Was I casted? No. I'm not the strongest in modern. I'm just not a very naturally like cool or like fluid mover. I do better with like structure and knowing where to place my limbs. So yes and no. Like I do contemporary and I do modern, but it's not my specialty, that's for sure. Even when I was in a company, I was never really like casted in a lot of the modern or contemporary pieces. Your biggest motivation? I guess my biggest motivation is my students, you know? Seeing how hard they work and, you know, going into the studio and seeing how much they love dance reminds me of how much I love dance because there was a period where I forgot how much I love dance. So definitely I would say my students, and yeah, I guess that's it for ballet motivation. In terms of like human motivation, probably like my family because I just want to, you know, make them proud, which I know they always will be, but I also just want to be the best human I can be. Any tips for dealing with not getting roles or getting casted? I am an expert in not getting roles and not getting casted. I've talked about how I auditioned for ballet school like 3 times or 2 times and got a call after the second audition 5 days later and like was told basically that I likely wouldn't get a spot for the full-time program, but they saw how much I loved it, so they wanted to give me a shot. Also with ballet companies, I auditioned for so many ballet companies and got so many no's. I think I auditioned close to 10 times. So I guess my biggest thing, the biggest thing I want to say to you guys, if you feel like you're getting no's a lot of the time or you're getting a lot of no's, I would say keep your head up and keep going because there's a better opportunity around the corner because I definitely found that, you know, all of the no's that I got led to yeses in the future and they ended up being the best option for me. So if you're dealing with getting rejection or not getting the roles that you wanted, just spin your mindset a bit and just keep your head up, you know, and think, okay, there's something better for me, right? I know sometimes it just genuinely sucks. It does. It just sucks, but there's no need to just wallow in your despair, you know, pick yourself back up and keep dancing, because in the end of the day, we are such tiny little specks of dust. We're special specks of dust, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to make or break your career if you don't get one role or one company audition or one job. Any tips on helping a young dancer with body dysmorphia? I want to delve more into this topic in another video. I do have to leave in like 5 minutes for work, so I don't want to go too into detail just because I want to talk about this a little bit more and, like I said, go into more depth in a separate video. But I think the biggest thing that helps is going to therapy, or at least just like reaching out to people, talking about it and starting the conversation. You know, it's okay to not be okay, but what is not okay is to talk down on yourself and to, you know, if you need help, not ask for it. Ask for help, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, I went to therapy for years. I'm not currently doing any therapy right now because I cannot afford it, but I did therapy for years when I really needed it, and it was really helpful, and there's no shame in that. I also do quickly want to say this. You are a human being first, dancer second. I said it. Human being first, dancer second. You want to be remembered for how kind you are, you know, what kind of person you are, not how you look, right? Help with pirouettes. So I have an entire playlist on my YouTube channel dedicated to technique tips, so I'll put that somewhere in the cards. Do you know how to darn your shoes? I do, and guys, I told this story on my Instagram stories the other day, how I darned my shoes so poorly that my teacher audibly gasped, and it looked like she was about to have a cow because I used like the drawstring to put it around the platform of my shoes, and I'll put some darn point shoe pictures here somewhere. But they looked horrendous and it was so embarrassing. And she was like, yeah, you can't wear those again. This is like the only day you get to wear this. I don't want to see them tomorrow. It was like so embarrassing. But I do know how to darn them properly. That was just a one-off thing because I used a giant piece of yarn rather than thinner drawstring. So I can definitely show a video on how to darn shoes. What country are you from? I'm from Canada. What's your favorite ballet exercise? Anything like leggy, anything adagio-like, anything slow. I'm not a very fast dancer. I also really like pirouettes. Like I just love turning. It just feels so magical and princessy. I love piqués. Okay, that's the one fast thing that I do love. I love really fast piqués in a circle. Do you prefer pace shoes or ones like Gainer Mindens? That's a hard question because I love my Gainer Mindens, but I also love the feeling of breaking in a classically manufactured pair of pointe shoes. There's nothing quite like it. So I'd have to go with classically manufactured, but at the same time, I love my Gainers. That's such a hard thing to pick between. Oh, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Has anyone ever told you that you look like Joey King? Honestly, no, I've never gotten that, but slay. I want your advice. I will start playing fencing in the national team. I'm already a little afraid of this move. When you played ballet, were you nervous? Because I will start playing fencing in the national team. I was nervous, especially joining ballet school, but I was more excited because I knew it was more opportunity and it was a great opportunity for me. So I was probably more excited. And then I got nervous when I was doing auditions. I want to talk on a separate video, like my transition from ballet school to professional company, because I was much more comfortable in ballet school in my first few years. And then when I joined a company was when my confidence really shot down, and then it went back up again, then it shot down again, and now it's back up. So yeah, I'll have to do a separate video on that kind of a roller coaster. Any tips to avoid sickling foot on retire during pirouettes on pointe? Ooh, yes, I'll also put some technique tips, but basically for pirouettes on pointe, it's just one of those things like sickling, one of those things that doesn't feel like you're doing it, but you just have to be very, 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 very aware of not sickling, and then eventually your body will remember it, I feel like. And also try to think of presenting your heel front, not winging it. And, you know, a lot of the time people point their foot so much, it ends up being sickled because they think it feels more like a pointe, but it's not. I used to do this a lot in tondus, and my teachers would be like, you're sickled. And I'd be like, no, I'm not. And then I watch the video and be like, yes, I am. You were right. So it's just one of those things that you have to be conscious of, and then eventually your body will remember it, I feel like. Which pointe shoes are you wearing? I'm kind of flip-flopping between my old pointe shoes and my new pointe shoes. My new pointe shoes are Freed Classic Pro, and then my old pointe shoes are Gainer Mindens, but I still have to sew them. How tall are you? 5'4"-ish. I say 5'5" in my resume though. How should I approach class for maximum improvement? That is a great question, and something that really helps me is goal setting. Also, being kind to yourself in class. A lot of the time we get really angry with ourselves when we don't get something, but rather than getting angry, just feel confident in class and be like, okay, I'm just gonna try it again. Now I know what went wrong, and especially if you have a teacher guiding you. No, just know what can go better the next time and keep going. And when you're on the side, practice. as long as your teacher allows it, because I know some teachers are weird about that. But you know, especially when I give students corrections, the thing I love seeing the most and the thing that I would suggest the most is when they give you the correction, try it, do it. See if you can achieve that correction right away, you know, especially while it's fresh in your brain, and then just keep practicing it on the side. So those are the questions I can answer for now because it's currently 1:27 and I have to be out the door by 1:30. So I'll see you guys later. My favorite thing when she goes like this. Look at the beans. When she stretches them like this. So cute.